currency.
Stuck a couple Bitcoins.
Hello. Welcome to the Blockchain Dynamic Show.
Good afternoon, evening, or morning.
Whatever time it might be, wherever you're at, we are here at Error by Trial Studios. My name is Brandon Doge.
And I am Woody.
It is Sunday, March 26th, 2017.
That's right, episode number 56 for Blockchain Dynamics.
Bringing back the old intro, man. I like it.
Yep, by special request. That's for you, Godson.
Godson wanted to hear it one more time. That intro is by Grammatic. If you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend it. The album there is Epigram, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the track is Satoshi Nakamoto.
And they're notorious for selling their music for Bitcoin for quite some time now.
As always, we are brought to you guys by Cryptopia. The website there, www.cryptopia.co.nz.
That's your one-stop crypto shop.
It's true, that's what they say. You got to stop by Cryptopia if you haven't. They've got all kinds of fun stuff going on there. Great up-and-coming exchange. A lot of good volume on a lot of interesting coins. But they also have a ton of other features. I highly recommend diving into it. They have this new clicking game out there that I've been highly addicted to. In addition to a bunch of other stuff like forums, coin information, arbitrage information. Just really a wealth of information for you.
Yep, definitely.
Our home base there on Cryptopia, of course, is in the forums. Head over to the altcoin section. We have a thread stickied up there, the Blockchain Dynamics thread. And if you come in and say hi, we will toss some dots your way.
Yeah, just come and say hello. Let us know for a suggestion on the show or whatever. Just
you can tell us we're full of shit, whatever you got. And we'll send some dots your way. So it's a lot of fun.
We're also going to give away some dots live on the show today. Brandon came up with a pretty tricky question, so we'll see if we can stump y'all.
People keep getting the questions. I'm trying to find one that's hard enough that we can roll the giveaway into the next week, but so far they've gotten it every week.
Cool.
Alrighty, that does it. We're now going to start into the content.
And we like to start off with that news.
That's right. We love the news. Top of the news this week here at the Blockchain Dynamics Studios is those new T-Rex delistings.
Yeah, they just kind of trimmed off a few coins. Arch is gone, Krypton, and Sling.
That's right. We've been giving T-Rex a bit of a hard time lately, but I really like their delisting move this week. The first thing that they've done is they have kind of stopped with this like will they, won't they delisting thing where they have a big list of delisting candidates or whatever. They're now just saying like these are the 3 coins that are getting delisted, deal with it.
Right.
And that's great because it gives you just a lot more certainty as to what is going to be surviving on the exchange and what isn't. Because for a while there, it was like half the coins were potentially on the chopping block, and it
Right.
It's like that's a frustrating situation. So, really got to give props to T-Rex for this new approach to their delistings.
Right. And also, I had a nice conversation on Twitter with Jay Yap, who I guess has been helping or even maybe just deciding which coins get listed there. Right. And he took the time to correct us about our assumption that all of these coins were paying to get on there. And I appreciate that, and I wanted to pass that correction on to our listeners as well. So those are just coins that are being decided to be put on there. He says they haven't had a paid listing for a long time.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I had kind of just been under the impression, going back to at least last year when they were still doing paid listings, that they had given up essentially on kind of making their own picks and were just going by the paid listings. And so it was really cool to hear from Jay Yap this week, kind of clarifying their policy there.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's some cool news out of Bittrex. Pretty funny to see Arch getting delisted, man. I don't know. Did you ever mess around with Arch?
Well, I did buy into the ICO.
I did too.
Yeah.
That was like one of the first ICOs I ever bought into.
Yeah.
And I dumped it immediately, thank God.
Right. I remember when you did that.
Yeah, I sold it like the first day. I was pretty pleased with myself.
Yeah.
And of course, we all know what happened there. I never got my Moby. Krypton, not really surprising to see that getting delisted. They, of course, were the chain that tried to do a swap over to Ethereum, but then their fork got hacked, or not hacked, but the denial of service attacks essentially broke them down. So they switched back away from Ethereum back to a regular chain, and that was kind of the beginning of the end there for Krypton.
Right.
And then Slingcoin, that's an old masternode coin. I don't know if you remember that one.
Not really. That one, was that a rebrand of something, or was it always Sling?
No, it was always Sling. It came out like in the Positron era when, like, I want to say Positron and 8-bit, and there was one called like Neutron that had all come out around then. And one of those coins that came out was Slingcoin, and it was just one of those masternode, like, it was like a post-Crave coin.
Yeah.
And it is apparently also getting delisted, so its best days appear to be past.
So, yeah, good on them for just being decisive and taking care of business over there.
Yep, that is the T-Rex delistings. Next up, we saw this week the Ethereum name service launch has been delayed. This is a project that I didn't even know was in the works. This article says it was the most anticipated project on the Ethereum network.
Huh, but you hadn't heard of it.
No, I don't know if maybe it's just because I spend too much time on Bitcoin Talk or something, but I hadn't heard of it. It's kind of interesting. The idea is that it would be a way to register domain names through Ethereum. I don't immediately see, like, I guess what the advantage would be there, but that's a cool idea. Apparently some of the Ethereum core developers are involved with the project, so that's probably
nice.
how it got such a high profile. But like so many other of these kind of high-profile Ethereum projects, this one had to be delayed due to technical problems. They found some exploits.
Well, doesn't this idea go all the way back to, like, NameCoin?
I feel like it does. Was NameCoin to register domain names?
I thought
it was like to register
that.
like your name in the blockchain or something. That's a good question. But yeah, apparently they found a bug that would have allowed bidders to claim domain names without paying for them. So kind of funny to see.
Yeah, I guess that sounds like a pretty serious bug in a contract that's supposed to have people pay for names. But
yeah, it just goes to show the challenges that a lot of these Ethereum platforms are going to continue to have, is the fact that this is all kind of uncharted territory. It's not like, if you're trying to get into web development or something, there's all these established frameworks and tools, and, you can get on Stack Exchange or whatever and find all the information that you need for just about any task that you want to accomplish. For these people who are trying to develop new apps on Ethereum, there's nothing to go on. They're kind of out off in space on their own. And as we're seeing, that's a challenging environment to work in. And I think it's just going to take time, over a long period of time, people are going to solve these problems. And I can imagine there eventually being some frameworks, kind of like what we've seen, with modern programming languages and stuff. You can expect that eventually that stuff will get out there for Ethereum.
That makes sense. Definitely. I look forward to that. That'd be fun to approach if it was really well organized like that. I'm sure that the support amongst the community has gotten better than it was at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I've never attempted to even look at what it takes to make a smart contract yet. So
there's some pretty interesting tutorials on really basic ones you can make, but obviously these more compact or more complex ones are still having a lot of problems. There was also an interesting IPO news this week from the blockchain attention token. Did you see this thing?
Yeah, that was really interesting. I think that's kind of maybe related to what you were saying about frameworks too. That basic attention token.
That's right, basic attention token
is being developed by the person who created JavaScript.
Yep, the website is basicattentiontoken.org. Usually we don't highlight IPOs, but I feel like I kind of have to call this one out because this has got to be potentially one of the most highest profile IPOs that we've seen yet.
Yeah, well, there's also not a lot of real info about the IPO available yet either.
No, it is mostly just a website here and a list of kind of big names and stuff. There is a page on the website for the token launch, but it's all just, coming soon, coming soon, coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure it's going to have those day one bonuses, right?
I'm going to be curious to see how they structure it, yeah.
You got to have them. I just thought this was cool to see. One thing that this was interesting to me is this is something that I heard about, that somebody told me about just like in real life. They're like, oh, have you heard about this basic attention thing? I'm like, no, I haven't heard about this yet.
Oh, really? Somebody at work?
Yeah, and then it kind of popped into my... Then I saw it on Bitcoin Talk or whatever. It's like, oh, shit, this is what he was talking about.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Basically, what they're broadly talking about is creating an advertising framework on top of Ethereum.
Yep, that's exactly it. Kind of like to compete with AdSense.
Right. And, they try to highlight some inefficiencies that they see in that, and maybe they would be able to improve their... Regardless of whether they're able to or not, it's definitely an interesting project. I agree with you there, Brando.
Well, it really shows the strength of Ethereum in the market right now. The fact that somebody would release an IPO that is this high profile. If this was 2 years ago or maybe even a year and a half ago, this would have come out as its own chain probably or something totally unique.
Right.
This is probably, it seems like a huge vote of confidence in the Ethereum platform for somebody doing something that's this high profile and then to be building it off of Ethereum, I think is impressive.
Yeah, I can definitely see what you mean there.
So, yep, the coin there is Basic Attention Token, and we're going to keep an eye on it. And I think that's going to do it for the news this week. Kind of a light week in the news. Once again, the markets seem to be really dominating the headlines, I think.
Yep, markets just move themselves.
Those markets, man, they're crazy. And with that, we are going to jump into our market segment.
Yeah, and we like to start by just taking a quick look at Bitcoin, which is down again this week.
Yep, Bitcoin down 6.7%. Crashed down. Did it get it got below 900, right?
Yeah, it did.
Good stuff.
But just barely. Not for long.
Yeah, it's that slide though. It's it was able to bounce back. We're at 986 now, but it does have that feel of kind of like we're kind of in a long-term slide mode. What do you think?
Yeah.
I'm notoriously bad at predicting what Bitcoin is going to do, so
it's still pretty valuable. I mean, that's a really high number to me, $986 for a Bitcoin.
Well, yeah, and as an altcoin trader, the only thing I've ever wanted is for Bitcoin to be $1,000 and sideways. So if we could keep these levels, I don't think anybody in altcoins are going to be complaining if Bitcoin camps out here for a while.
Mm-hmm. I don't have any actual predictions, I guess. I would say it's probably what I just automatically start thinking about what I hope to happen as well.
Right.
And I hope that it does just kind of, I don't care if it goes down to 800 on a weekly basis, as long as it sort of pops up to 1,000 as well.
Yeah, exactly. And like last time we were at this place bouncing off the all-time highs is like around when the Gox crash happened, and there was just all kinds of huge catastrophes going on left and right. And we haven't seen it this time. Aside from the PBOC stuff, which is really pretty tame compared to what we used to see, there haven't been a lot of market-shattering events. Maybe the ETF thing, like, it's also tame in comparison to what was happening in 2014.
Right.
And so I think that, that shows the markets have matured a lot. And it also means that it might be actually possible to see a little bit of sideways. Or maybe the uptrend's not over. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, and it all has to do with the time frame you look at, too.
Yep. But that's just Bitcoin. We are mostly worried about altcoins here. And with that backdrop of Bitcoin being down 7%, we know that Ethereum continued its huge climb this week, up another 13.5% versus US dollar.
Yep.
Up another 22% against Bitcoin.
Okay.
And that's those are new highs once again this week for Ethereum.
Yeah, pretty amazing to watch.
Where does it stop, man?
I don't know.
Is ETH big enough to not be called an altcoin yet? Can we just call it Ethereum?
It's just always an altcoin.
Always an altcoin?
Yep.
Like, what if Ethereum, if Bitcoin falls by the wayside or whatever, and it's just all Ethereum? Would Bitcoin be the altcoin then, or is because Bitcoin is first, all the other coins are always altcoins?
Yep, I think that's it. It's that simple.
If that's how it works, that's how it works, I guess.
But I don't know. I mean, people can call them whatever they want. That's the beauty of it.
That's true.
Yeah,
but what am I supposed to call it?
You can call it an altcoin.
Fair enough.
But maybe just call it Ethereum. Or eventually...
Maybe we could combine the price with Ethereum Classic. They'll be in their own little space.
Is there... Well, see... Everything's traded against Bitcoin. That's why everything else is an altcoin, right?
That's true. That's a good point.
So if you can get to the point where there's an exchange that's just like trading stuff against Ethereum and they aren't even worried... Bitcoin is literally just one market on there.
Right.
Then I'll start listening to that type of stuff.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see something like that. I was really stoked on the idea of Ethereum base pairs last year, and a few exchanges added them, and they never really caught on that much. Poloniex has a few pairs, but not like, I wouldn't say they do 25% of their volume in Ethereum, even though Ethereum is over 25% of the Bitcoin altcoin trading volume, if that makes sense.
Right. Yep. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
I mean, anything's possible with Ethereum at this point. I think it's kind of blown away everything that I thought it could do, at least.
The sort of a non-coin pump action was cooling off for the most part, with the exception of PIVX, which just kept going.
Yep, good old PIVX. It reached 0.00096 this week. That was the high. It has definitely bounced down since then, but it is the only one of these high-profile anon coins to be up this week. We had Monero down, Zcash down, Dash was down. Which is interesting to see because overall it was a really bullish week for alts. We're going to see that most of the coins were up.
Yeah, there was just plenty of pumps all around.
And it's funny, with PIVX, last week it was already the highest market cap of any kind of new non-IPO coin since we started doing the show. Up again this week, so obviously it's now really setting a really high bar for any other coins that come along to try to live up to. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a huge pump. Just huge.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's fun to see. Definitely a huge congrats to everyone that held that shit. I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm. I remember I had a little dark net at one point, but
Did you?
I traded it. It was like a normal trade way back then.
Those old Halcyon days of like a year ago. But yeah, there was really a crazy amount of pumps this week. Just going by the numbers, if we look at the top 100 coins, 70 of them are up versus US dollar. 80 of them up versus Bitcoin. This is surprisingly similar to last week. We also had 70 coins up against USD last week. So it shows that the trend overall for altcoins is still really bullish this week. Looking at a median gain of 13.5% versus USD. A median gain of 22% versus Bitcoin. That's less than last week's record total, which was 28% on the median gain. But still one of the strongest numbers we've seen there. And really, that median gain number tells you that pretty much whatever you invested in, if you didn't pick up at least 13%, then you're kind of losing out a little bit in a way. So the top 100 altcoins this week were up about 9.7% if you include Ethereum, up about 4.4% if you don't include Ethereum. So once again, Ethereum leading the charge, but even without Ethereum, still picking up a pretty large gain in market cap. And if you compare it to Bitcoin, the top 100 are up about 18% with Ethereum and up about 12% without.
Dang. Yeah, I mean, it just sort of seemed that way watching and participating in the markets this week. Everything was getting bought up.
Yep.
I guess the only way to lose would have just been to have Bitcoin.
Yep, I guess that's true. Yep, those poor Bitcoin people.
And even then, unless you just bought your Bitcoin within the last 2 weeks, you're probably still feeling pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty hard to be down in crypto. Like, alts are up 300% this year overall. Like, it's like you're playing poker where the dealer is constantly just stuffing money into the pot at all times. It's like, it's almost impossible to lose when the coins are this good. It's really fun. Alts this week hit a new all-time high, 7.575 billion market cap right now. That's up 770 million from last week. Bitcoin dominance, another new all-time low, down 3% this week to 67.8%.
Interesting.
And there's one interesting number here this week in the Ethereum dominance. It's at 59.5%. It's actually down 0.2%.
Wow, so some of those other coins gaining a lot of market cap must have been the case there.
Yep, exactly. It's kind of interesting how this number comes around, because if you look at Ethereum's gains this week, it was more than the average alt, so you would expect the Ethereum dominance to have climbed again. But it works out that there's so many new coins coming out, especially stuff like ARK coming into the scene, and some other new coins bringing in high market caps, that essentially it's the value of coins below the top 100 plus ARK that is creating the small drop there in Ethereum dominance.
Wow.
So, cool stuff.
And then as far as specific gainers or losers this week, on the gainer side, Crown is up 517%.
Damn.
Radium up 209%, PIVX up 173%, and Monetary Unit up 170%.
Yeah, really, there's almost too many pumps to keep track of this week. In addition to this, there was, I know, Shift pumped, just tons of other coins. Decred
Decred was way up.
Had a huge pump this week.
Stratus today.
Yep, Decred broke the top 10. Couldn't believe that.
Yep.
So yeah, really cool stuff. Crown, I don't really know too much about. I've heard some mutterings about it.
All I know is they call the masternodes thrones. Is all I picked
really?
up. Yep.
Oh, that's dope. All right, I support that. I get it. I get Crown now. Radium having a huge breakout. Kind of happy to see that. And yeah, PIVX and MUE also not surprising to see in the list this week.
Yep, it is alt season.
In those losers this week, we have NovaCoin down 24%. We got Omni down 20%. Boolberry down 15%. And NameCoin down 13%. NovaCoin was up last week. It's apparently didn't have any legs to it. And NameCoin down too, man. Those old coins aren't holding up right now.
I mean, I think people were surprised to see them going up at all. So to see them need to cool off is not not too surprising to me.
That's true. Well, you'd think, in general, alts are so bullish that I was kind of expecting to see more action even from the really old coins. But
that'd be cool. I'd like to live in that world eventually.
Well, that's not the world we live in this week, I guess.
No, not today.
And Omni down 20%. Not surprising there. There's been a lot of concerns about how some of these like Bitcoin second layer chains like Omni and counterparty based things are going to work if Bitcoin forks.
Oh my goodness, they have to deal with that.
Yeah, apparently that affects them, so that'll be a fun potential catastrophe on the horizon for alts, because Omni does tons of really high-profile stuff built on Omni. I think Made is built off Omni, and I think there's a couple other big ones.
Interesting.
So yeah, we'll see what happens there. And yeah, that's going to do it for the markets this week. Another preposterous week in alt markets, and we'll see if they can hold on for another week.
Yeah, at some point we're going to have to just not be reporting that they're going up and up, right?
Exactly. We'll just wait for the shift. It'll just be old news. Alts are up again, 20%. We're all rich.
Yep, someday. So, without further ado, we're going to take a second look at Lana coin.
That's right, Lana coin. This is a coin that came out on July 5th, 2016.
That's right. And we mentioned last week, when we took a look at Taj, it's another stay secure coin. So this is along those lines of a personalized blockchain, this one being dedicated to Lana's 10th birthday.
That's right. It's another coin just geared around being a super niche chain of saying, what's kind of the most micro use case we can find for a coin like this. In this case, the coin is just a birthday present.
Right. And there's a lot of numerology going on based around the 10th birthday. That date was 7/5/2016. So you see lots of 7s and 5s and 6s and the stats for the coin, right? Max coins is 7.5 billion.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That is a large number.
Last proof of work block was 750,000.
So interesting. The previous one we covered, Taj coin, was the last coin we looked at like this, where it's just kind of a single person, just a blockchain for one person. That they went with the smaller supply route. He's going for the much higher supply route here. So it's interesting to see the contrast that you can get there.
Right.
Of course, because of the high supply it is trading, it's at the 1-2 Satoshi point, right?
Yeah, it's trading between 1 and 2 Satoshis. And it's on Cryptopia as well as Yobit, but it seems that there's a lot more coins on Yobit from my
that's not unusual
research there. And it's sitting at about 7 Bitcoin coin market cap total.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. You think of a coin as a birthday present. If you got $6,600 as a birthday present, you'd probably be pretty damn stoked as a 10-year-old.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course, she doesn't control all the tokens, so it doesn't quite work like that. But it's kind of funny to think about the economics of it that way. Alrighty, so next we're going to jump into our segment we call the Rolling Review. This is where we try to keep up with coins that have just been out for a little bit of time and might not yet be on a lot of people's radar. And we kind of try to watch them until they get onto some major exchange listings or kind of settle into a long-term pattern.
Definitely. And the first one on our rolling review today is Zero.
That's right, it's 0.
We liked this one mostly because of its mining specs at the very beginning, I guess.
Right, it's just another Zcash fork, so nothing too surprising there. Got rid of the developer rewards, kind of the standard move on these Zcash forks. And then what was different here is that he has much more difficult mining specs.
Right.
So it's just more challenging to mine. Fewer people can mine it. Might seem like a weird change, but it's just one of those things that seems to be enough to attract enough attention, at least, for it to at least catch a small pump. It did hit 65,000 Satoshi this week on Cryptopia, but now chilling back down around 20K. It kind of started dumping when all the rest of the Anon coins did.
Sure. Yeah, it wasn't too surprising to see it kind of catch part of that wave, though.
Yeah, and Z Classic and stuff really kind of pioneered the way. As far as the coin itself, really nothing coming out from the dev this week. It's also a coin that kind of you can expect there not to be a lot of action on. He's basically said, this is an experimental coin. These are the parameters. Just deal with it.
Nice. So this one might already be kind of on the established side at this point.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's definitely getting, it's maturing, chilling at a $54,000 market cap now. The thing about it is that it's still just really new. I was kind of surprised to see it pump so soon because, as we've seen with the other long proof-of-work coins like Zcash, they don't hold their value out of the gate because the supply is so constricted, the inflation rate is so high in the early days that it's usually, they don't hold the pump price, essentially. So it's not surprising to see it cooling off from the pump earlier. And really, I'm just curious to see where this thing settles into once it actually find some ground. If Zcash is any indicator, that could take months.
True. Another one we've been keeping an eye on is Pascal Lite.
That's right, Pascal Lite. It's been on Cryptopia now for a couple weeks. Really surprising performance from this one. Once again, we're looking at a clone this time of Pascal Coin. And this one doing really well. Market cap hit 93,000 this week. And the same story is true as with Zero. This is a new, really long proof-of-work coin. So the inflation rate is still going to be incredibly high. The supply is still really restricted. And so I have to say I'm surprised to see this coin doing as well as it has been. I mentioned last week that I tried to put some low bids in, and suffice to say they never filled.
Sure. Yeah, it just kind of ran away, huh?
Yep.
They like to do that.
I think of all the rolling review coins, this seems to have the most interest, actually, which is surprising, but it's doing really well. It seems to have attracted a lot of people who either, for one reason or another, didn't get along with the developer of the first Pascal, or just felt like maybe they missed the boat a little bit.
Sure.
But sometimes that's all it takes.
Right. Also, Renos is still on the rolling review.
Let's rate another coin here called Renos. This came out probably a month or two ago at this point. It was an airdrop coin. I really think with Decred doing as well as it has, I'd be surprised if we don't see a lot more airdrop coins in the future. But as far as Renos is going, the dev is still active on this one, which is good. He's just working on like basic coin stuff, like getting all the websites and stuff working. Nothing really mind-blowing as far as futures. It's chilling at a 31,000 market cap. Unlike the previous two coins, this is basically fully distributed. So I'm sure there's going to be some proof-of-stake inflation, but compared to these brand-new proof-of-work coins, the inflation rate is going to be pretty low. And really the news here is they're doing this interesting, you could call it a swap, for this IPO coin that was announced a couple weeks ago called DRAC. I don't know if you've seen this.
Is that Drachme one?
No, it's called XDRAC, I think is the ticker. Yep.
No, I don't know.
But they're doing, so they're going to do a weird IPO for this coin where the IPO will just be on exchange. So they're just going to 100% pre-mine it, get it listed, and then put all the coins out on the exchange, which is a little bit weird way of doing it. It's not like, obviously it's going to be unescrowed that way. And now they're saying that you can exchange Renos for these coins at a really heavily discounted price. So right now it would be about half the price to just buy the coin by buying Renos and then doing that swap. But it's all it's a little strange. It's not the direction I was expecting this coin to go in, and it's a little suspicious, honestly.
Yeah, that's really odd. Huh.
But yeah,
keep an eye on what happens there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's going on with Renos. We're also keeping our eye on ZenCash this week. ZenCash is the coin that Z Classic, is swapping to.
Okay.
So at block 100,000, they're going to be doing a snapshot of the Z Classic blockchain, and then all those people will get ZenCash.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because they did Z Classic to not have the pre-mine of Zcash, or to not have the founders' rewards. They're like, oh, well, this isn't any fun. We're going to do ZenCash now so that we can have a pre-mine. But for what it's worth, it seems to be creating a little bit of revived interest in Z Classic. Z Classic's been doing really well on the market the past couple weeks. And usually with these snapshots, they do tend to, in the build-up to the snapshot, you see a lot of elevated interest. We saw it with Jumbucks. We saw it with NXT 2.0. Now we're seeing it with Z Classic. I'm curious to see what happens after the swap. And interestingly, by going in this different direction with ZenCash, they have kind of opened the door for Zero a little bit to gain ground as in the Zcash fork competition.
Man, yeah. I remember when we did our Zcash roundup, there were just so many of them back then. Remember when we did our...
Yeah, the initials. We had like a dozen Zcash clones back then.
Yeah.
I think the only survivors from then are Zcoin, Zcash, and Z Classic. I think those are really the only ones that still have stuck around in a real way. It'd be fun to revisit that list and see.
Yeah, and see what's been added as well, or changed.
Yeah, exactly.
A final one on the rolling review this week is TrollPay.
Yeah, this is a coin that we didn't really pay attention to, but it's been getting a little bit of hype this week, so I thought we would check it out. The coin is TrollPay. This came out, I'm not sure exactly when it came out. I think it was in January. But it came out with a 20% pre-mine, and usually kind of by default we haven't been paying. Looks like it was November, so it's a little older. But it has like a 20% pre-mine, and usually I don't pay too much attention to those unless they start doing something interesting. I think TrollPay has crossed that threshold by going into competing with what PureVids is doing, basically. They have an online streaming website that actually works, and you can go and try and find movies on it or whatever.
Right. And does the TrollPay doesn't actually come in to watching the movies, just like
Right.
the PureVids didn't either, right?
Right. So that's the part of both of these coins that doesn't quite make sense to me yet. Like the TrollPay is not, you don't have to pay the TrollPay to see the content. They do have a file hosting service, but it's really right now it's just an email address, so I'm not sure if the tokens
maybe it's
are used
related
for
to that or something.
Yeah, exactly. I think the big problem that people are going to have generally with these coins is that they're still dependent on the person to run the website. You know, it's like
Right.
it still feels like a streaming website with a coin attached to it, and obviously people are going to be looking for a way to have it be totally blockchain based. But maybe maybe they've got more in store here. But as far as new coins go, just looking at it on the merits of itself, it's pretty clear that it's a lot more developed than what we're used to as far as the website actually works.
Right.
There's clearly, some interest building up. It's got the $74,000 market cap right now. So yeah, they're doing not bad.
Cool.
The coin there is TrollPay. One interesting thing looking at the review this week, going back, we've got Zero at 54,000 market cap. We've got Pascalite, 93,000 market cap. We got Renos at 31,000 market cap. And we have TrollPay at 74,000 market cap. It seems like all of these new coins that have some level of development behind them, they seem to have found this floor kind of in the $50,000 to $100,000 market cap range.
Yeah, that does seem to start to be a pattern there, doesn't it?
And I would notice before, if you go back like 3-4 months ago, before the latest alt season started, these kind of coins were generally still trading in like the 5,000 to 15,000 range. And so that just shows how bullish the overall alt markets are right now.
For sure.
And of course, there's a flip side to that coin too. We have a ton of coins on the rolling review, and we don't really mention them if they don't do anything. And so there's been a few of these new proof of work coins like Pink Dog Coin, Neuron, that new OneCoin. Those all came out. In terms of specs, they're pretty similar to a lot of these other coins we've been talking about, but the developers are quiet. They don't have any new features. And we're seeing those coins trading around like 1 to 3 Bitcoin caps.
Interesting.
And so that just kind of tells you that the premium on a well-developed altcoin right now seems to be about $50,000 to $70,000.
Right.
Which honestly, that's a pretty good number, and it also shows that how much room a lot of these new coins have to grow. Because we don't know if any of these coins is going to be like the next Pascal or the next, DNet, the next PIVX or whatever.
Yeah, we just never know what'll be around in a year.
But we do know, based on those coins, what the upper limits are like. 6 million was kind of the high for Pascal. I think it's like around 2 to 3 million now. DNet, probably like, 20 million or something? PIVX, I guess, sorry. I still think of it as DNet. But that shows you kind of what the upside situation is like on new coins right now. And I guess that's just part of the reason to watch out for them. I don't really see the next DNet being in this batch of coins specifically, but I don't think it'll be too long before it pops up in the new coins list one of these weeks.
Yeah, you just never know. It's always fun to see what happens in the long run with those coins.
And it might already be out there. There's a lot that, there's a lot of cool shit that's not on this list, too. I'm sure. It's always easy to miss stuff.
Very easy.
So if you think you know what the next DNet is, just send it to your good old friends here at Blockchain Dynamics.
Yep.
And yeah, that's going to be it for the rolling review this week.
Sure is. And up next is going to be our DOT giveaway.
That's right. It's time for the DOT giveaway. The way this works is that we are going to ask a question. You will send the answer to the Twitter @ChainDynamics. The first person to send us the answer gets 20,000 DOT.
Got to send it during the live show.
Yep, you got to send it during the live show. If nobody sends in the dots, then we will roll the jackpot into the next show so that the jackpot will just get bigger.
Yep. The question this week is, what was the peak value of a single Crave coin measured in Bitcoin?
That's right. What was the peak value of Crave in Bitcoin? It's hard to get an exact number, so we'll accept something that's close to what we have here, but it is up to you to figure out what was the peak value of a single Crave coin in BTC. And remember to send that over to @ChainDynamics on Twitter. Dots, of course, that's Cryptopia's native crypto coin. If you want to buy any of Cryptopia's services, you're going to be paying in dots.
That's right.
It's a really interesting way to use an altcoin, actually. I've always loved that about Cryptopia.
For our next segment, we're going to talk about the new coins.
That's right. We always love to cover those new coins week to week. You never know what's going to happen with new coins.
That's right. And we like to start with the proof of work, proof of stake coins. And at the top of the list this week is Topaz.
That's right. Topaz is a coin that uses the algorithm from Espers, which is interesting.
Huh.
And it would have really cool mining specs if it wasn't for the big old 10% pre-mine.
10%, dang.
I'm a little softer on pre-mines these days, but as always, you got to have a point to it. Like going back to TrollPay. TrollPay's got the 20% pre-mine, but at least he has distributed a large amount of it. The biggest chunk was for a faucet, which is fine. And to some extent, he's accountable to the pre-mine. You can see where it is. You can see what he spent it on. It has some kind of use to it. As far as Topaz, I'm not seeing that they have any kind of similar use for it other than the good old Yobit dump.
But that algorithm should be really easy to mine at first for people, right? If it's a small network.
Yeah, I think it's a CPU mine algorithm. If I had some open CPU rigs going when this launched, I probably would have tried to mine just a little bit, just because you might as well. But otherwise, I wouldn't. I don't like to. I'll do a short-term play on just about anything if the difficulty still hasn't kind of caught on to what the normal number of miners is. But I wouldn't do a long-term play on stuff like this.
Right. Especially not with that giant pre-mine.
Exactly.
Another announcement this week was for Tritium.
The coin is Tritium. I wonder if are there any atoms that don't have coins
Oh,
yet?
sure. They're out there.
There's really an endless supply of atoms to name coins after. And this is an isotope, so.
How about the coin itself? Let's see here.
It's a fork of Blackcoin. But not a lot of those lately. Well, I think Lana coin is a fork of Blackcoin. We mentioned that earlier.
Right. Yeah, Blackcoin has that nice solid proof of stake.
And the nice thing about Blackcoin is it's a good old fashioned POS 2.0. Maybe are they on 3.0 now?
I don't know about the specific of the current black coin.
Blackcoin has been doing a lot of development on improving just the regular proof of stake system, which I really like because the regular proof of stake system and the Blackcoin versions POS 2.0, POS 3.0 are all actually a lot more fair in how they distribute coins over the long term compared to like HiPos or DPOS. So I always give props to coins that are using kind of the Blackcoin heritage instead of some of these newer DPOS stuff.
And let's see, does this one have the pre-mine on it?
I don't know, isn't the chain broken? We've been talking about Blackcoin clones, but I think this chain is broken.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is my note, isn't it?
Yep. So Tritium, kudos to you for using Blackcoin as your base, but your chain's not working.
And then there was another coin called Amy.
Amy coin? Is this another coin for just a person?
I don't know, but this one's Wallet Builders.
Oh, nice. They've got the Wallet Builders node in the post.
Yeah, it's not good.
Ooh, that's harsh.
So on to the next one.
All right.
And that is UNX coin. Unx coin, maybe.
How do you say that? That's hard to...
Unx.
Maybe Unx. Unx coin is mining now. The ticker is UNH for some reason, but it's spelled like UNX.
Right.
When my brain sees that word, it wants to say Unix. It's really hard for me to look at it and not just say Unx.
Yeah.
Let's see, what's the deal with the code itself? Looks pretty bare bones here. They got a SuprNova pool somehow.
That's always a good sign.
The old inexplicable SuprNova pool. I think he usually tries to add 1 or 2 coins a week, and sometimes they're just so bad that he adds whatever he sees.
It's funny, inside of the announcement there, it says, solo only, no pools can be created for this coin. They will try. But he's also got SuprNova listed in there.
And it took him like an hour to get it up. Maybe that's the challenge. Oh, I remember what I noticed about this coin. The initial Instamine blocks had 100 times the reward of the normal blocks.
Oh, so really up front.
Yep, super upfront distribution there. Something you always want to watch out for. So yeah, not a lot to see with Unx coin there.
Mbit was another proof of work coin that came out this week.
This coin has a really high pre-mine, but I actually really thought the theme on this was kind of interesting.
What kind of theme are we talking here?
This is supposedly a blockchain version of, those online textbook sites?
Yeah.
That, you can go online and just like, instead of paying to have a book shipped to you or whatever, you just get the PDF on the internet.
Right.
This is kind of supposed to be that thing, but a blockchain version. Really, it reminds me of PureVids and TrollPay in the sense that it's like those guys are offering the site, the movie streaming sites. These guys are offering a coin that allegedly is going to have one of these textbook type sharing interfaces.
Okay, I understand what you mean there. Yeah, I understand the comparison.
So yeah, honestly, I think that's a really cool premise. As far as the coin itself, as with PureVids and stuff, I'm left to wonder how does the token meaningfully interact with that premise? Is it actually built on the blockchain, or is it dependent on a website? Kind of those usual questions that I have about stuff like this.
Yeah, I can definitely understand. And it seems, maybe sometimes developers either don't know where that's heading or never plan on it going anywhere, but we'll be keeping an eye out.
Have you looked on the top coins on Cryptopia today?
On Cryptopia today?
Yeah.
Not that I can think of.
This is the top one.
Oh, gotcha.
So they must be, I don't know if it's just the classic pure pre-mine pump. I wonder if it's pumping or is it just going straight down? Let's just have a look here. It's pumping. It started out in the 300-400s and now it's at like 2,000. So I don't know. I think this is a really cool theme with maybe an implementation that I'm not super excited about, but I don't know. I might revisit this. The coin here is Mbit Books.
Another proof of work coin that came out this week is the Fenix.
Fenix. This has a 40% pre-mine. It's for his business customers.
Ah, that makes sense.
So I guess we'll let them bother with the mining and pumping of it as well.
Yeah, probably not much to see there. The 40% is an awfully high pre-mine for such a weak excuse.
People keep posting pictures of pears in the thread. I'm not sure why. I approve, though. The coin here is Fenix coin, and yeah, I don't think there is really a lot to see on this.
So we'll move right along to another category of announcement. It's a little broader. This is the relaunch, re-announcement, pre-announcement, and other category.
Yep, there's a broad category here. First up is the Cypher Protocol.
Okay, Cypher Protocol.
We have a code base for the prevention of counterfeiting and fraud in token contracts and transfers. That's the theme.
Yeah. My eyes just drawn directly to the zero pre-mine.
Yeah, I mean, we like to see that.
But, I'm super skeptical of anything that comes out on April 1st.
That's a good point.
So it's, for people that want to trick me, it's a great way, but also I also think it's less likely to ever be real when it's there, so I don't know. So
the way that this coin's working is they're kind of trying to turn the IPO thing upside down a little bit by having it work like they're saying that in order to get the coins, you have to have a proven donation to a one of these registered charities, essentially. And so they're saying they're not going to get any of the money, they're not going to have any pre-mine, that's not the point. But in order to manage the distribution, they want to do it with this essentially proof of charity system is what they've cooked up here.
Oh, man, that sounds like a lot of administrative work.
Yeah, it sounds really technically confusing. I'm not sure how they're going to pull it off, but it's interesting to see them putting forward this idea, I guess.
Yeah.
As far as the coin itself, if it does come out, I would be interested in.
I guess if that type of information... No, I just can't picture it. I was going to say if that information's available about donations, maybe you could verify it, but anybody could then just verify as anyone who made a donation.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't... people really want to get the world of charity mixed in with these cryptos, but I don't think in general I don't think it's that easy to make payments to charities with cryptocurrencies at this point.
Right.
I think most people would be like, what am I going to do with these Bitcoins? But anyway, we'll just have to see where they go with it.
Yep. Another a re-announcement this week. Aspire community takeover there.
Yeah, this is just a shitcoin that came out a few months ago, and now they are already at the community takeover stage. So good luck to them.
Right. Infocoin.
That's right.
This was like a pre-announcement that has a testnet running now.
Okay.
And he's being very adamant about the fact that it will be reset before the actual launch. So,
that's cool. Is the testnet just like it's just a normal coin, right?
It's Cryptonote.
Oh, that's right. I remember. So this thread's funny because the developer is really unsure of himself.
Yeah, he has an idea about some sort of coin that can be attached to a forum or some type of information distribution system,
right.
But he wasn't sure how to pass extra information in the blocks. So that's his first challenge, I guess.
Yeah, this coin really feels just like someone who's new to coding, kind of toying around with trying to make their first blockchain, which is that's an admirable endeavor, and I salute this person. But as far as being a speculator goes, it's not the kind of thing that I'm going to watch. That was Infocoin.
Aqua coin is next.
That's right, Aqua. It is a Waves token. A lot of water themes here.
And there's a bit of a giveaway going on here, too, I think. There's an airdrop.
All right. There's the airdrops, man.
So they're giving some tokens away in their Slack. If you're interested in that, check out Aqua.
That's right. I haven't messed with any of these Waves tokens yet. I'm curious to see what's going to be like the first one to break through,
Only 1,000 total tokens, according to them. So if you manage to get one of these in the airdrop, that's a pretty good start.
Let's see here. That was Aqua. Up next, we have a coin called Concoins.
Concoins. This is a really funny one.
Yeah, this is a good post. You should.
They're talking about basically a cryptocurrency for people that are currently incarcerated in specifically the United States prison system.
Yeah, that's right. The thread title for this is the most dangerous cryptocurrency in the world. I don't know what makes the cryptocurrency dangerous. Just because prisoners are using it doesn't make the coin itself dangerous.
Yeah.
There's no evidence that any prisoners are actually using it, of course.
Nope, but it's kind of a funny idea. And they claim to be working on that specifically. Beyond that, I don't see a lot of stats about the coin being available at this point.
That's a really good idea for a coin, man. You think about... a lot of the uses for blockchains are like dealing with unbanked people and stuff like that. Prison economies are really a classic example of how alternative currencies and stuff can work out for people who are in an unbanked system. And so it's actually kind of an interesting and really a natural evolution for cryptos in a way. I'm not sure that the people who made this thread have any intention of delivering on any of that. But
Right. No, it is an interesting idea.
It kind of reminds me of, what was that other one? It reminds me of Mbit, that Mbit Books coin, in the sense that it seems like a really interesting premise that I'm surprised somebody hasn't already ran with. And so I'm not sure that, this is going to be the coin to market that idea the best, but I think if one did come along and play that card really well, then they could probably do something interesting with it.
Right, if they became popular with prisoners that transfer money around.
Exactly.
That'd be a pretty interesting spot to be at.
I'm not sure what the average prisoner's access to blockchain.
It just totally depends on what type of prison you're in.
Yeah,
just prisons are just not all the same.
That's very true. So yeah, that was Concoins. It's a funny thread. You should check it out.
All right.
We also had a re-announcement this week for Viacoin.
Yeah, Viacoin.
Yeah, most people say Viacoin, I guess.
And they are working towards that SegWit.
That's true.
Lightning Network.
Who's going to be first? A lot of coins have tried to be the first with SegWit. Is Pink Dog Coin still the only coin that's actually done it?
I honestly do not know.
If the world of altcoin history goes down with Pink Dog Coin being like the first altcoin to have SegWit, that would crack me up.
Well, I think that happened.
Oh yeah, Pink Dog is a done deal. I think that is SegWit activated. The most efficient transactional network in the altcoin world.
There's a whole bunch of stuff to read about Viacoin on their thread there if you're interested.
Yep, I think most of us are all pretty aware with Viacoin. It's got an established developer, all that kind of fun stuff. Didn't it used to be? This was like one of those 2014 IPOs, of the Craig's Coin era. I think it was one of those big.
Is that how it started?
Yeah, and I think the devs abandoned it, and then Romano picked it up or something. That could be me not remembering this right, but.
So we're going to cruise through the ICOs announcements this week as well. And we'll start with Coinonat. There was Ethbits, Bitrad.io, like BitRadio, MobileGo, Halox, BitBoost, ZENNIES, Mantracoin, Livearcoin, and the DAJ, Decentralized Academic Journals.
That's right, another fine batch of ICOs.
I feel like they're at least getting. I'm liking some of the ICOs a little more now than I was, last fall and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel you. It's just it's a sign of some of the new interest that's coming into the market. Like I said, I was really surprised with that basic attention token in terms of the amount of how impressive the whole thing looked. But as with all IPOs, you never know. The showy part of it doesn't matter near as much on what they can deliver. But
sure.
But yeah, as usual, we had another list of IPOs there. Going back through the new coins this week.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything too exciting. I definitely didn't mine anything this week.
No, I didn't mine anything new. I guess Mbit's kind of standing out just because you mentioned it being on top volume list there. So
yeah, Mbit's does
something for a new coin. And then these pre-announcements aren't too bad either. If anyone can manage to get any of their ideas to fruition, that'd be pretty fun. But I'm always so skeptical of anything that's not made yet.
Yeah, Mbits does stand out a little bit, but it's kind of standing out for me in the way that Argus did, in terms of just like big pre-mine, flashy post, big volume, but probably nothing behind it.
Yeah, there's no substance there yet.
But if it starts to kind of show itself to be more like maybe even what PeerVids or TrollPay is doing, where they actually, if they were to actually have the site up with the content and stuff, then that might kind of turn things around for them, or that would make it obvious that they're not just doing the Argus thing again. But it's still too early to tell there. I almost mind a little bit of that Unks coin, just not because I think it's really got a good future ahead of it, but just because it was so cheap. But then I saw that it had the early 100 reward blocks. But even then, sometimes if the difficulty is so low, that Instamine stuff doesn't even matter because you can just put the smallest amount of hash on it and get a ton of coins.
Sure.
But yeah, as far as that goes, nothing really I'm too excited about this week.
No, me neither.
Alrighty, that's going to wrap it up for new coins. And with that, we are going to jump into the listings.
All right, let's take a look at the listings. SuprNova, we mentioned, listed UNCS.
Yep.
Which is UNH coin. What?
The ticker is UNH. The coin is called UNX.
There's going to be some clarification necessary at some point in that branding.
I think somebody was just hammering keys out.
So that's what SuprNova listed. And then as far as exchanges are concerned, we take advantage of Cryptopia Shitcoin Notify and Altcoin Notify Twitter accounts to get some of this info. So thanks for that. Check him out. And then Cryptopia listed MadeSafe, Scenario, Ethcoin, Solaris, Arc, and Mbit.
Arc, man, that is a huge launch this week, that thing. I'm surprised we didn't see that I'm surprised we didn't see it in the big gainers this week. The reason it wasn't in there is because it hasn't been out for a week.
Right.
So I can't calculate a 1 week gain. Otherwise, Arc had a huge entry pump. I think it's up like 5 times from its ICO or something.
Yeah, and so on Bittrex also they listed Arc.
Okay.
They listed Dynamic Coin, and they listed Tokes.
That's right. Some more, some interesting choices from T-Rex. Like you said earlier, their volume has just been crazy. And, really it's all about the volume for people. I've noticed that people were very quick, very hard on Bittrex when their volume was low for every decision they make. And now they can make, similar decisions when their volume is high, and everyone's like, yay, Bittrex. I think it's that we all love Bittrex, deep down. We want them to succeed. And so I think we're all happy to see him with the huge volume numbers lately.
Yeah.
And also, Poloniex has been really difficult to use because of the constant lag and DDoS type situations.
Yep, a lot of traffic there. Yobit listed Units, Milo, PIVX, Chat, Volt, Got, and Mavro.
Yeah, okay.
And then on C-cex, they listed SOAR, they listed SJMBit, they swapped hemp, the HMP hemp, over to XIN.
All right, interesting. And then we also had on Novaexchange a bunch of listings here. Real Point Coin, Ethcoin, Ebit Tree Coin, Career Coin, the number 42, must be different than 42 coin.
Yep.
X Currency.
Yep.
Argentum, Topaz, Mantracoin, Artificial Intelligence, BitRev Shares, Tyco Coin, and Tattoo Coin Limited Edition.
Wow. It's a big list.
That's a lot of coins.
And over on Livecoin, they listed Arabian Chain.
Hey, that's cool. That's the whatever Dubai coin is swapping or forking to, whatever.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't make that connection.
Yep.
So looking back at those listings, one that actually stands out to me, funny enough, is just X Currency getting listed anywhere again. Because I'm pretty sure they were...
Are they homeless?
I think they were homeless.
Oh, sad.
So that's nice for them.
Kudos to X Currency there on Novaexchange. Arc's got to be the listing of the week.
Oh, yeah, Arc.
No question.
Yeah, easy.
But I'm kind of interested in these other coins on Bittrex here, Dynamic Coin and Tokes. Tokes was just an IPO, so I think that was just a weed coin IPO. I'm less interested in that, but I think this Dynamic Coin is a rebranding from the Silk Coin crew. I might have my information.
It's related to that somehow. You're right.
And I know they have a couple of other coins floating around. They've always been kind of an interesting crew. I remember Silk Coin. We were both surprised by it. It had a really impressive pump,
right,
back in the day, and has been able to stick around in its various forms for quite a while.
It even inspired our never launched coin Denim.
That's true. Or if I ever launch an altcoin, it's going to be called Denim Coin, just because it's funny. But yeah, so Dynamic Coin, that's coming from the Silk team. I think it's potentially one to watch out for.
Cool. I also wanted to announce that somebody got the question right.
They got those damn dots.
They got the exact number you
wanted.
Are
you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The number Brandon was looking for was 787,630 Satoshis.
All right, that's the highest I could find from it on the CoinMarketCap. To get it, you have to go to the CoinMarketCap, historical snapshots. Impressive. I need harder questions, man.
Yep.
I'm never going to stump these guys. So yeah, highest price of Crave Coin, of course, 730, or what is it, 780?
787,630 Satoshis.
Back then, we thought that was as good as it gets. All these latest pumps lately make Crave look so small. I don't think Crave ever got more than 1 million market cap even.
You're probably right.
It was a smaller world back then.
All right, and we're going to move into coin birthdays. We like to pay a little respect to the coins that make it year to year. And our 1-year birthday this week goes to Steam.
Got to give it up for Steam. Big congratulations to them.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people have a lot to say about the way it was distributed and stuff, but...
Yeah, started on March 22nd of 2016. Needed to be relaunched under kind of bad feelings from people because...
they thought they did fine, you know.
Yeah. But they've made it quite far to be where they're at now.
Yeah.
And I still think it's one of the coolest ideas put into action for blockchain technology I've seen. It actually does work. But I guess there's a lot of other parts to it than that.
Yeah, I mean, I think essentially regardless of the qualms that people have with the implementation, and there are a lot of good issues, you know, a lot of logical complaints. The platform itself is really impressive. They really delivered on something that nobody else has. And for the time being, I still think they're kind of on top of that social media blockchain-based platform. And I'm just curious to see, I'm hopeful that what they've done will inspire either them to build essentially the top platform or potentially a competitor to build something that's just as cool. But really happy for Steam and happy 1-year birthday for them.
Yep, it'd be fun to see where that is in another year. And then our 2-year birthday this week goes to Anarchist Prime.
Anarchist Prime, love it.
Started on March 22nd, 2015.
Alrighty, well, a happy 2-year birthday to Anarchist Prime.
Definitely. And that does it for the show this week.
That's right. That is going to wrap it up for Blockchain Dynamics show number 56. As always, please check out the website, blockchaindynamics.net. We'll have the latest episode goes up there.
Yep.
Really easy to find it that way.
Yep. You can also check it out on iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher. I think it's probably wherever you look, honestly.
We've got a good footprint.
Except for YouTube. I'm still working on it. God, I just can't upload all those videos or audio. It takes forever.
We need that visual component, you know.
Yep.
We are, as always, brought to you all by cryptopia.co.nz. If you haven't checked them out, you've got to. They've got a really interesting set of coins. Some really exciting up-and-coming coins at Cryptopia. But in addition to the exchange, they have a ton of other really cool features, which I would strongly advise that you take a look at.
Definitely. So I guess this has been episode number 56, Blockchain Dynamics, Air by Trial Radio, and we'll see you next week with heavier bags.
Peace.
Currency. Like a couple Bitcoins. Money, pull up on my Nakamoto.